Welcome to the September episode of the Toolbox DIY Home Maintenance Guide. I hope everyone had an enjoyable summer. School is back in, so we're all getting busy once again. Luckily, we have another light month of home maintenance here in September. It shouldn't take us too much time, but it really depends on your situation. If you've been enjoying the home maintenance guide, or if you found it useful, please show your support by clicking that thumbs up. Also, please subscribe so you get notifications of future episodes. As a reminder, every month there is a downloadable checklist at toolboxdiy.com/home-maintenance. It's an interactive checklist, or you can download a PDF. There's one for every month of the series. Before we dive in, just a reminder to cover the 5 routine tasks that we perform every month. I covered those in January. That's GFCI outlets, smoke detectors, alarm system, HVAC filters, and water filters. Once you get the routine tasks out of the way, let's start September by picking up the phone and calling a carpet cleaning service. At least once a year, we want to do a deep clean on our carpets. This is relatively cheap, so I find it's better to save ourselves the time and just hire someone. Now, there's nothing special about September. You can really do it any month of the year. It really depends on your family's lifestyle and habits. We're actually going to make 2 phone calls this month. We're also going to call for a termite inspection. For those of you who don't live in an area with termites, you don't need to worry about this. For the rest of us, this is very important because we want to save ourselves the trouble of having to deal with costly termite damage repair. Now for the real work. This month we're going to inspect our interior and exterior doors. Let's start with our exterior doors. First off, we want to clean those. We want to keep off the salt, the dirt, or other contaminants to extend the life of our doors. You can use a mild soap detergent to do that cleaning. If you find any issues with your door, you're going to want to get those addressed sometime this fall. If your doors have glass panes, check the glazing beads or seals for any damage. You may need to reglaze your door if it has some age on it. Lastly, check weather stripping to see if it needs to be replaced. Now, we did this back in May ahead of summer, but it doesn't hurt to check again. Now, the next couple of items apply to both interior and exterior doors. We want to clean and lubricate our hinges. Usually a sponge with some soap is adequate for cleaning the hinges. You may need to go to something tougher like good old white vinegar or a baking soda paste, or maybe even good old-fashioned 409. Rarely have I had to bust out the industrial degreaser. After you clean your hinges, you should lubricate them. I like to use a dry Teflon, also known as PTFE, or sometimes just good old-fashioned furniture polish. Paraffin wax is an option, but I just don't think that it's worth the hassle. To really lubricate your hinges, remove the pin, wipe it down if it's dirty, apply lubricant to the entire pin, spray a little bit inside the hinges, and then reinsert the pin. Now, pins and hinges don't need to be lubricated every year. Usually this only needs to be done every 2 to 4 years. While you're at the hinges, inspect the hinge screws to make sure there aren't any broken heads or screws that have backed out a little. Also check for any loose hinge plates and tighten those if necessary. The last task for September is to perform a mold inspection. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm not qualified to perform a mold inspection. Now, there is some truth to that, but we can do a simple test, and if we find something, then we can call in a pro for backup. When looking for mold, I focus on specific areas. I start in the basement first, and I check every surface of the basement. If you have an unfinished basement, don't forget to look up because you may get mold developing on the underside of floor trusses. In addition to the basement, I check around doors and windows. I check around appliances near air vents and air returns, and I also check in the bathroom. Now, the bathroom can be tricky because it's not uncommon for mildew to develop in the bathroom. Mildew is typically flat and powdery. It can be white or brown, whereas mold is typically like a red, a green, or a black, and sometimes it'll have a little bit of fuzziness to it. Tackling mold is not always easy. There's no one solution that fits every situation. Typically, you want to find the source of the moisture. That's what's really causing the mold. So we might want to look for leaks. We might want to look for condensation. You might want to check the humidity of the room and see if maybe it just needs better airflow. If you can correct the problem and the mold goes away for a while, then you can probably just stick to the annual inspection. If you can't correct the problem, then you might want to buy a mold test kit and have a test run. If you determine that this mold that's in your home is high risk, then I would recommend calling a mold remediation specialist. That is the end of September for us, folks. It's going to get a little busier in October and November as we prepare for winter, but it's nothing that you can't handle. So I will see you back here in about 4 weeks. I'm Chris with Toolbox DIY. Thanks for watching.